Hey everyone, so this is Vikings Season 4, Episode 18, called Revenge, and it starts off with Lagatha telling Astrid and Torvi that they need to make a sacrifice. Astrid is wondering what sacrifice they shall make, and Lagatha's like, well, if we're beaten by the Saxons, it's gonna, our people will never recover from it. So, that only confuses Astrid even more. So Astrid says, well, I ask, what shall we sacrifice? But Torby is like, well, I think Lagatha means, who shall we sacrifice, not what. So there's that. And we'll go back to that in a second, but first we see Ivar expressing that he wants to be the leader of the Vikings when they go back to England, since Ragnar asked him to study everything about the Saxons when they were there. Things like their buildings, their landscape, their people, etc. But Uba is not really having it that much. So then we see Harold noticing a woman who turned him down for marriage unless he became king of all Norway first. Halfdan then says that he should say hello, but it's clear that once the woman, sees Harold, she is scared or upset by his appearance or by his presence, which makes me think she only said what she did to Harold so she could get rid of him. Basically, a swerve. We'll get back to that later because I have some thoughts about that too. Uba then sees Vitsert missing Margaret, kissing Margaret. I think I said missing, but anyway, so he's kissing Margaret. Vitsert is kissing Margaret. Uba calls him over, but before he, says anything about the two, about what the two were talking about, he tells Vitsert that Ivan wants to do the army, but Vitsert is like, well, why? I mean, Bjorn should do it, which Uba doesn't necessarily dispute. He's actually in agreement of. Then Uba asked before Vitsert can leave what he told Margaret, and he's like, well, I told her I've always loved her, but I know that you, Uba, claimed her first. Harold then, a little while later, then goes up to the woman that he noticed, and her name is Princess Elisif. He tells her he is close to being important like she asked him to be, but come to find out, she's already married. He asks who she is married to. She looks over towards this guy talking to someone else that's not too far away in the room, and Harold then asks her, is he a king? And she says, no, he is an earl. And I'm telling you, this girl majorly swerved Harold. And I'm just like, I'm of two minds here. I don't agree with the fact that Harold made this over-exaggeration, or not over-exaggeration, overreaction. He made this overreaction of her lying to him. I agree with him that he shouldn't have lied to her, or she shouldn't have lied to him, but that doesn't give him the right to just go from 0 to 100 and go from being all calm, cool, and collected to wanting to kill her, slit her throat. Yeah, it was a shitty way to do it, but still, she had a right to, not want to be with him, so deal with it. You can't always fucking get what the fuck you want in life. So fucking deal with it, damn it. Fucking deal with it. It's not, just how shit is in life. If you go around killing people all the damn time, nobody's gonna want to fucking deal with your ass. So yeah, so it's just get it together, like get it together. Um, so he then starts becoming visibly upset that she lied to him, and she's begging him not to kill her since he doesn't. And once he doesn't, she makes with her husband, and it looks like she tells him what happened. Um, Uba and Margaret then get married. There's this bridal race that goes on. I'm not exactly sure if that is something that actually happened um, within Viking culture, whether it was in Denmark, Norway, or Sweden, or whichever country. I'm not sure if that is actually a thing that actually happened, or if that was just a fictional part of the story on Michael Hurst's part, or what. But if anybody knows for sure, please tell me, because that's something, guys. I don't think they've ever shown that before in previous seasons. Because they showed Floki getting married to Helga a couple seasons back, but they didn't. I don't remember seeing that before. So, anyways, like I said, if anybody knows that actually is a real thing that actually happened, please inform me, because I thought that was kind of interesting. Anyway, so Uba races Vitsark. Uba eventually wins, and Vitsark has to prepare the meal for Helga and Helga, Floki, and Tenarus are, in their little house, and Helga's wondering if Floki's going with the army, and he says he is, because he has to avenge Ragnar due to the fact that Ragnar loved him so much. Helga then says that she and Tenarus are going to come with him, but he's like, no, you can't do that, because this girl's not eating properly, and she's clearly unhappy. I mean, she's not that happy to be here. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, Helga, please listen. I mean, he's actually right for a change. I think you need to just heed that warning very much. Please do it. I was just like, please do it. He says Tanarus is unhappy, like I said, but Helga believes he is the one who is unhappy, and hasn't been since they came back from the Mediterranean. She asks him what's wrong, but he says he doesn't know and can't really put it into words because he doesn't want to be imprecise. She's all like, well, this isn't a riddle, dude. It's tell me what the fuck it is. And he's like, yeah, that's true. It isn't a riddle, but and it's the truth. But excuse me. But the gods haven't revealed to him what that truth is yet. Harold and Halfdan then go up to Eagle and ask if he's gotten all he has from looking around Kattegat's new fortifications. And Eagle says Kattegat isn't as secure as they think they are. And when Eagle leaves, Halfdan tells Harold that Harold should have killed Elisif when he had the chance. But Harold says he only loved two people besides the gods, Halfdan and Elisif, and says that if he doesn't kill her, no one can. And so this is gonna be one of my predictions. I think Harold was gonna kill Elisif's husband, so that way she would feel obligated to marry him and stuff like that, because I mean that would mean that she because she would feel forced to, that way she would feel forced to marry him and everything. So I think that's gonna happen, but I think maybe they're going to save that for either the season finale or sometime in season 5. I don't think they're gonna make that a issue or bring that back up until one of those two things happen. So there's that. Uva then notices that Vitsark and Margaret like each other a lot, and proposes that he and Vitsark share her. and she wonders how Uba can be so cool about this and not be jealous. And he's like, well, it's because we're Vikings. So she tests this by kissing Svitserk in front of Uba, and kissing Uba in front of Svitserk. They don't appear to be jealous, so she asks them to come to bed to have sex with her. This is my second prediction. I think they're going to make this a bigger issue than it's looking like at this particular moment, because I doubt the writers would have made this would have brought this up if they weren't gonna make this an issue. So I think they're gonna wait. I honestly think they're gonna wait to make this an issue until season 5, because it seems like, since there's only 2 episodes left in season 4, that they're gonna focus heavily on the revenge. They're gonna continue to focus heavily on the revenge of getting revenge on England until and then focus at for the last 2 episodes. If they're gonna bring that back up, it's gonna probably be in the final scenes of episode 20, but that's just me. Anyway, so the Vikings eventually do a sacrifice, and Earl Jorgensen volunteers to sacrifice himself. Lagatha walks up with the shoulder on Owl on her shoulder, and it's like, yeah, I think Owl's cool. I think they're beautiful looking, but was it really necessary to have her walk up with the owl on her shoulder? Was it really that necessary at this point in time? I think they're kind of overusing this owl a bit too much here. I think they're really doing too much with that at this point. So that's just me. Bjorn, you see Bjorn then, leave, meets up with Astrid to have sex with her while the sacrifice is happening. Helga covers Tenerise's eyes so she won't see the sacrifice. I think that was a good idea on Helga's part, because I don't necessarily think people of the Muslim faith have seen that many human sacrifices, if at all. I don't know. I can't really say. I can't really, obviously, say definitively, but it seems like people of the Muslim faith haven't seen any human sacrifices before, even back then. If anybody knows for sure, or anybody who practices the Muslim faith, please tell me. I'm kind of just speculating here, so I'm sorry for making it sounding like I know for sure and making assumptions. Anyway, so Lagatha realizes that Bjorn and Astrid are missing. It seems at this point she knows that they're both missing. They're both together. And it definitely seems that way when Ashley comes in a little while later while Lagatha is supposedly asleep. And Lagatha says, well, I hope what you did was enjoyable, because otherwise it wasn't worth it. The next day, Bjorn tells the boys that he will be the leader since King Harold and Halfdan are committed to overthrowing him, but Ivar clearly doesn't like it, and Bjorn calls him out on it. And Bjorn tells Ivar, well, your age makes you believe you know more than you do. So I will stick with being a leader. Just like, thank you. Please put that boy back in his fucking place. Anyway, so Bjorn goes up to say goodbye to Lagatha, tells Astrid to take care of his mother, then has this awkward ass goodbye with Tordy. I was hoping that he and Toby would last more than just like 2 episodes, because they look good together. They look nice. I mean, they have two kids within themselves, between themselves, one from previous marriage or previous relationship, but still they have two kids. Like, can I mean? Can they not? Can they honestly? I mean, anyway, I'm not gonna get into that because no, I'm not gonna get into that. Okay, so the Vikings then sail to England and have made their way to Northumbria. And a soldier goes to tell King Aella about the Vikings having made their way to the coast, and that it's a massive army. King Aella then starts looking concerned, as well he should. Uh, in Wessex, Egbert and Judith are told that the Vikings have come. Aethelwulf says it's all Egbert's fault since he let Ivar go, and Judith defends Egbert because of this. Aethelwulf says he could order Judith out since he's still legally her husband, but he won't since she isn't like most wives, and so he'll simply ask her to leave. So that he could talk with his father alone. After Egbert nods his approval of her leaving, she leaves. Aethelwulf then says he has come to resent Egbert because Egbert has always manipulated him, taken Judith as his mistress, and made him adopt her bastard son. Aethelwulf then says Egbert isn't acting like a king anymore because he's distracted and unsure. Aethelwulf says him being unsure and distracted is not the time to be. It's not the time to be like that because the Vikings have come back. But Egbert says that that's why he put Aethelwulf in charge of the army, and that he trusts Aethelwulf completely. His complete trust in his son is why he has always manipulated him. Aethelwulf knows that Egbert has loved Athelstan and Ragnar and continues to love Judith after all these years. And he asks Egbert if he loves him, and if he does, to say it. I can sympathize with him or empathize with him, whichever one. With that, because I mean, you kind of want to hear that your parent loves you. It's not that hard. It's not. I mean, he doesn't have to hear it literally every single day. But come on, he kind of wants to hear it at least once in a while. So I understand all that. Back in Northumbria, Judith's mother tells King Aella that Judith tried to warn them, but he is still so stubborn as to say it's fine, which clearly isn't, because he's going to get a rude awakening in like half an hour, or however long it takes for his ass to get dressed and go out to the battlefield. He says there is a surprise waiting for the sons of Ragnar. We obviously don't get to see what that surprise is, but I was kind of hoping that we would see it. I was kind of hoping we would. But anyway, so King Aella prepares the Vikings, tells the bishop that the Vikings army isn't as great as he was told. When they eventually do get to the battlefield, then Aella realizes how big it really is. And Ivar rides up on his chariot. The bishop then asks for God to help them, but Aella says that he doesn't think God can. Then the Vikings end up charging Aella's army, and it then cuts to Aella being tied up with a rope and dragged behind Ivar's chariot in the rain. And when they stop, Bjorn asks where his father is buried. Aella then shows them where Ragnar is buried. Bjorn quotes what Ragnar said to them after he died, and Aella asks how much gold and silver they want to spare. They want so that they can spare him. But Ivar's like, yeah, we're not taking any fucking gold and silver from your ass. We're going to just keep it like it is. Elsewhere, they nail, I think it's a cave. It looks like a cave, but I mean, it could be anywhere. It could just be nighttime, and it just looks like it's a cave. And anyways, elsewhere, they nail Aella's hands down I think on a plank where he's like laying on top of, um, back facing Bjorn, and Bjorn performs the Blood Eagle on Aella. I honestly didn't think this was going to actually happen this soon. I thought it was going to be either in the middle of episode 19 or at the end of episode 19 or something, or possibly even sometime in episode 20. So I didn't think they're going to do the Blood Eagle this early, but apparently not. Both Egbert and Laktha appear to be waking up after hearing Aella's screams of pain as the Blood Eagle is performed. Ivor then, crawls up and, to watch Aella's face as he succumbs to the pain of it being performed. And the following day, Aella's body is hung up over the pit where Ragnar died for everyone to see. So that's pretty much the entire episode. So next week on Vikings, Eagle makes his move on Kattegat, and the Vikings make their way to Wessex. So I already told you 2 predictions, which I'm going to just quickly reiterate. I think Harold is going to kill Elisif's husband to, in a roundabout way, make her then want to feel obligated to marry him, because these Vikings are always doing the most when doing long-term planning, and they're the masters of being petty. So that's what I think is going to happen as far as that goes. I also think that what is it? Where's the other one? I think that I think that the writers are going to make the jealousy between Svitserk and Uba a real thing, and not just talking about it. But like I said, I think both of those 2 predictions I just named are going to be brought up in season 5. It doesn't seem like that's going to be I don't think that's going to be anything soon, just because it seems like those can be long-term ones. But anyway, so my 2 short-term ones are going to be one. I still think Asher's gonna die, but I think it's gonna happen a lot. I think it's gonna be next episode instead of episode 20, and I think it's probably gonna be the hands of Eagle instead of Lagatha. I still think Lagatha is a possibility, but it seems like I'm at least I'm at least expanding it to other people instead of keeping it to one person. So I think it's going to be either at the hands of Eagle himself, his army, or at Lagatha, when Eagle comes to unleash his army on Kattegat. My second short-term prediction is that I don't think we will see a winner of the battle between Egbert's army in Wessex or the Vikings' army in next episode. Though I do think that the Vikings will win by the season finale. I think they will win, but I don't think we're gonna see them winning until episode 20. So I don't think it's gonna be as simple as the Vikings just destroying Wessex like they did Northumbria, because as pointed out, Northumbria had a small army, like a lot smaller army than Wessex. So I think what's more likely to happen is it's going to come to a stalemate, because there's going to be a good number of casualties on both sides next episode, and then they're going to regroup. Vikings are going to regroup and then hit back twice as hard in episode 20, and then they're gonna win, and that's what I think is gonna happen. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this week's episode. 2 more episodes left until the season is over. Just to let you guys know, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be doing Vikings for season 5 yet or not. That's still kind of up in the air for me. I'm leaning towards more doing it rather than not, but I'm not completely 100% devoted to doing that just yet, but I will at least continue out until this episode or this season is over. So, but until next week, I hope you guys have a lovely weekend, and keep it safe and joyous and happy. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.